Hey guys, welcome back to the Kool-Aid Podcast. Welcome back to another video. On today's video, we're going to be talking about Vitor Roque. Can he potentially be playing against Las Palmas? And then as well, we're going to be talking about Pedri as he is recently he did a live stream with Ibais, the famous Spanish Twitch streamer and YouTuber, and he basically spoke in detail about life at Barcelona, his injury concerns, stuff, questions that the chat asked. But mainly, he talked about a lot of football, and we're gonna be talking about some of his quotes from that interview. But guys, before we get started on the video, make sure to follow me on all of my social media platforms. Everything's posted down below in the description. Make sure to go check me out over there. That way, you guys can stay up to date with everything that I do on the channel. But guys, let's get straight into the video and let's talk about Vitor Roque. Um, this news is reported by Martinez Ferran and Ramon Fuentes, two Spanish journalists who work for Mundo Deportivo. The registration of Vitor Roque is stuck, and the club is waiting for the green light from La Liga. The player will be registered due to Gavi's injury and could be registered as a loaned player. This will affect the salary limit for the next season, and Barcelona must present a document in which it accepts this situation. Now, this news was reported earlier today in the morning, but breaking news. Luckily, this is the follow-up news regarding that previous statement. According to Barcelona sources, there will be no problems in registering Vitor Roque before the match versus Las Palmas. They say that La Liga are reviewing the papers, and what is it done, he will be registered. They add that he will be registered as a permanent signing and not on loan. The squad list for the match versus Las Palmas will be released after training tomorrow. Now, this is fantastic news because when that news first broke out that he potentially could not be playing against Las Palmas, and we have to wait a little bit, that it really like hampered the spirits. We want to see Vitor Roque as soon as possible, and that is going to be the case. He is going to be in the squad against Las Palmas, and it's fantastic news because all of us are extremely excited to see him on the pitch, and hopefully he impresses on his first match with the club. But as always with every single new signing, and especially with young players, we cannot expect him to be an absolutely world beater and basically score completely off the mark in his first game. But guys, now let's talk about Pedri, because there were some interesting quotes that Pedri was talking about with Ibai. Let's get started with the quotes. Pedri, I've had a difficult time with my injuries. The day to day goes from being with the group to training alone, like forgotten. It's complicated mentally. Everyone talks about you a lot. Now, this is one of the things regarding long term injuries, and this is why a lot of people, and even myself, I say these injuries, these especially long term injuries, it's more of like a mental aspect than a physical one. Of course, like you're working physically, you're healing your muscle, healing the injury, and making sure you get back to fitness, by recovering well and everything like that, sleeping and doing all the physical therapy. But the most important thing is the mental side when you're training and doing all this. Because as this quote says, like you're with the day to day, and then you're with the squad, and then all of a sudden you're working completely by yourself. And especially when you're on long stretches of times, you have to remember, like, hey, you have to you have to be mentally focused and focus on just recovering, because if you don't recover perfectly fine, then you're gonna have a relapse, and that just creates even more problems. And this is Pedri talking about like what could be a potential cause of his injuries. It hurts me when some people say that my lifestyle is a cause of my injuries. I am a person who does not go out. I do not like parties and staying up late at all. And I love training. I just want to play football. Now, guys, we do know that Pedri, he is a very, very humble player and a very humble person. In multiple quotes, if you read his interviews, you don't see him, being that flashy star type player, going out, partying, drinking. That's sort of like Ronaldinho type vibes. This is no diss to Ronaldinho. Like, for example, Ronaldinho shined on the pitch because he was allowed to have that freedom. But Pedri, he isn't a player or a person who likes to do those things. He wants to focus on football, and just the constant amount of football that is being played, it does cause some muscle fatigue, and those muscle fatigues can lead to injuries. And just some players are more injury prone than others, and here is Pedri saying that it's not because of the lifestyle that he has. And What are some of the things that he's doing now to recover? Well, he's changed his diet and he's now does Pilates and specific training. And I'm guessing this is, like some strength training and some responses on the field in order, like just training specialized for him in order he can come back to 100%. And continuing on with the quotes, I've been annoyed by a lot of the things the media has been saying about me and my injury. Joe Romero said I was afraid to play and shoot with my right foot, and I told Xavi that is a lie. Well, just like with everyone in the media does take advantage. And sometimes of the things that they do report is not always 100% certain, and this is just one of the byproducts from being part of the media. But of course, Pedri, he is a player who is very technical on the ball and has an amazing shot. And if we do see Pedri shoot more outside of the box, he would be definitely getting into the double figures of goals and assists. And hopefully we can see that happening when we see Pedri for a longer extent of time. And this is just like a funny quote with which Pedri was talking about Pique. Pique was not enthusiastic in training, but in matches he was amazing. I could dribble past him 7 to 8 times during training. And guys, this this is not surprising whatsoever, because if you guys remember that basically time where Ernesto Valverde was the manager of Barcelona, the club was basically called the Club de Amigos. And you had players like Dembele, Suarez, Jordi Alba, Rakitic, Busquets, all of these heavyweights of the club. And a lot of the things that are being said is like, hey, this Barcelona team is not training hard enough. They're not training hard enough. And this is why in the biggest of occasions we are beat, because we lack the intensity. We have all the talent in the world, but if we do not have the intensity to play at the highest level, then we will suffer. And it's funny because this is true. Like, because like I say him, he's one of the most talented and gifted center backs of the previous generation. But that lack of intensity, it did come to harm him in the butt in the recent years, in his latter years of his career. But guys, those are, I believe, the most interesting quotes from Pedri with his interview with Ibai. There were a couple more quotes, him talking about Ferran Torres, saying like, hey, Ferran Torres has a shark of a mentality. He tries to emulate what Ferran Torres does, trying to stay focused and take it day by day. He also talked about Gavi previously, how he's given advice to Gavi, saying like, "Hey, I have been through these long-term injuries. This is what I do, and here I am to help you." And he basically talked about Vitor Roque as well, saying, "Hey, he is such a charismatic guy. You always see him smiling in the dressing room." But and then that was basically it for Pedri's basically, small discussion with Ibai. But guys, thank you guys all for watching. Let me know your guys' thoughts on everything that we have discussed. What do you guys make of Vitor Roque potentially playing against Las Palmas? What are your expectations for Vitor Roque in his very first game? And then lastly, guys, what do you make of these quotes from Pedri with Ibai? But guys, thank you guys all for watching. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. And as always, guys, remember, like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys all in the next video.